Hi, it's Eclectic Vicky, and I'm back for another exciting video. This is going to be Sulphur Springs, Texas. It is about 25 or 30 miles from Greenville, Texas. It's in Hopkins County, which Greenville is in Hunt County. And it's a really neat little town. I really like it. It's much prettier than Greenville, and it's about half as big. So we're getting on Interstate 30 here, headed out that way. You'll be going north. If you kept going, you'd eventually run into Shreveport, Louisiana. So that's our path. All right, well, we're on Interstate 30 going along. It's a beautiful fall, crisp day. It's a beautiful, crisp fall day. Oh, I said that all backwards. Senior moment. Yes, it is. We're not really having a whole lot of fall just yet. Leaves aren't falling that much. We've had a big drought, so the grass is not very attractive. But the leaves are falling a little bit, but not a whole lot. So there's not a giant sign of fall just yet. But it's a great day. It's bright, and it's a good day to do this. I finally got freed up a little from a big project. Was able to take a day off to make this video. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at Sulphur Springs. It's a little town. It's a little town, but it's got a lot of really cool things. Up here on the right, which I don't think you can much see. On the left is the Audie Murphy Museum. Now, if you don't know, Audie Murphy was the most decorated soldier in World War II. No, we're not on 3 yet. We're trying to get there. Sorry, a moment of seriousness in the middle of this fun video. Okay, he was the most decorated soldier in World War II. He won every medal there is, and even some foreign ones for his bravery. And at one time he was still the most decorated soldier, but I don't know if that's still true or not, so I'm not going to give you incorrect information. Anyway, he was born in Kingston, Texas, which is fairly close to Farmersville. And I had did a video on Farmersville, Princeton, and McKinney because they're all in a line on 380. And I did a video on that if you're interested in any of that area. Anyway, Kingston is outside of Farmersville. And he lived and worked in Greenville. So I think that's why the museum is here. He worked at a gas station. And if I'm not incorrect, he returned back to Greenville after the war. And I'm going to eventually do a video of Greenville. I'm going to find most of the really vintage gas stations because I would love to know which actual gas station he worked at, but I don't know that. So there's 7 or 8 of them that I know of, and so I'll do some recording of all of them. And one of them is bound to be the gas station where he did work. So Audie Murphy had an impressive life, but he also had a bit of a terrible life. They were abjectly poor when he was young. He was actually helping support, or maybe even totally supporting the family when he was really young. I mean, he was very young, maybe like 8 or 9 years old, and he was working. So he had several siblings, 3 or 4, I guess, and I don't recall how many he had, but he was, his father deserted the family when he was about 5. And so, back then women didn't have great career choices and things. And so they were very poor. And also the other thing that was sad about his life is he didn't live long. He died about age 46 or 47. in a plane crash. I think he was probably doing some kind of promotional work or whatnot. And he also was an actor, and he wrote some songs. So he had a short but interesting life. So I'm not going to record the whole way to Sulphur Springs, but based on the fact that it's just going to be, like a 40-minute video, and so I'm not going to record all of it. But so I will break this up into some segments. It's a straight shot. You just stay on 30 and you can't miss it. You go right to it. Now, before you get about 5 miles down the road from where I started out, there's a sign that says Commerce and Paris. And if you take that exit, you go around on a overpass, you drive about 10 miles or so, and you come into Commerce, Texas. And Commerce is Texas A&M. One of their schools is there. So that's kind of the main thing about Commerce, and it's a kind of a cute little town. I don't think there's not really a lot to it. It's even smaller than Sulphur Springs, but I'll do a video on it later. The school is really neat, and it's really the center, literally, of the town, and probably the financial center of the town. But Sulphur Springs itself is a straight shot. You just go right to it. All right, well, I'm going to stop my talking for a moment and check my video and see what I can edit out. There's not really a whole lot to see. It's kind of pretty. Because of the drought, it's not very pretty this year. The grass is super ugly this year, but it overall is a pretty drive. So, but there's not just a whole lot out there. There's not much there's some residential and there's a few businesses, but it's country driving, in other words. Well, I'm going to take back up talking because I noticed in my video that we passed a sign for Cooper Lake State Park. That is a very large state park. It's about 15 miles north of Sulphur Springs. And up in that same area is a Lake Fork Reservoir. That is, and it may be in the park. I'm not real sure about that park, but it's in the same general vicinity if it's not in the park. That is the site of many champion bass tournament fishing contest. So I'm also going to talk about other things that pertinent to the city that are not actually in my video. The public library has a very large music box collection. Leo St. Clair. That may be the name of the collector. I'm not real sure about that. But if you're interested in music boxes, this is a good collection. There is a farm and art market. It is open from May to the end of October, and it's in the downtown area. And since the downtown area is super gorgeous, this is probably a really fun event. Coleman Lake and Park is a 186-acre park. It has waterfalls, ballparks, etc. Buford Park has a castle playground for the kiddos, and it's known as Kids Kingdom, and I'm sure that's fun. There's a walking trail somewhere around in that vicinity. I don't know if it's in the actual park, but there is a walking trail, and since Sulphur Springs is a very attractive town as far as, the trees and things go, and basically it's a cute little town. That is probably a fun trail. The Hopkins County Museum and Heritage Park is 11 acres of historical buildings that have been moved there for renovation and to contain them. So that is probably a fun place if you like old buildings, which I do. I've been to forts and old cabins and things like that. So I like that sort of thing. So if you like that sort of thing, check out the Hopkins County Museum and Heritage Park. So I'm veering off the highway a little bit to show you the roadside park that's in between Greenville and Sulphur Springs. Texas roadside parks are very nice for the most part. Most of them, like this one, have restrooms, vending machines. There's usually some historical things inside to look at. They're very clean. They're manned by employees for added safety. They have nice picnic areas. A lot of them have playgrounds. The 18-wheeler commercial trucks are separated away from the cars, which is very nice. They are really nice. I would say the roadside parks in Texas are exceptional. So I wanted to show you this one because it's available, and also it has extra nice trees. It's pretty hidden except for the sign. You really wouldn't notice this very much because it's fairly hidden by the trees. Anyway, this is a very nice roadside park if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, I like them. I like to stop and use the restroom, and my family were big picnickers when I was growing up, and I still do some picnicking when I can myself. And it's really enjoyable to sit at a roadside park and eat. And this one had really exceptional eating areas, really large ones. I mean, you could actually have like a birthday party or something. You could have a whole lot of people there. Anyway, this one is a really nice one. And most of them are, as I said. So I think in that regard, Texas is pretty exceptional with the roadside park thing. I thought this truck coming up with the pipe is really interesting. It's a huge piece of pipe. I have no idea what it's for, but it's kind of neat looking. Most of the time when you see pipe, it's like a whole bunch of small ones. Well, there's that pipe again. We're actually getting off now at the exit into the town of Sulphur Springs. This is Broadway Street. Broadway is seemingly a main street through the town. If you go to the left, you keep going, you'll run into downtown. I turned right just to kind of show you a little bit of the town. There's restaurants and things like that down this way. And a little ways farther, a mile or so, or maybe 2 miles, there's the Walmart. I'm sure it's the main store in town. It's like a superstore. It's over to the left. And then I very quickly discovered that I was actually getting out of town faster than I thought. So I turned around at the cattle auction, which is kind of neat. Turned around and came back the other way and went back towards the downtown area, which is where I'm actually headed. Cattle auction. This is headed toward the downtown area. Approximately in this area to the right is the Mexican restaurant that I stopped at. Was craving Mexican food, and I wanted to do a local place. It's called Los Lelos. And I'll talk about that toward the end of the video where I show you the actual food. So I'm just driving here mostly because I was unable to stop at the Los Lelos restaurant. There was a stalled car in the right-hand lane. And by the time I got around it, it was impossible to turn. So I just made the decision to keep on driving towards the downtown area because I can show you what it looks like as you're going into the town. And then I spun around in the downtown area. I came back to the Los Lelos, and there's a little bit more at the end of this video. I show you the food, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But the downtown area is superb. It is the most beautiful downtown area that I know of in the state of Texas, and I've been all over it because I was born here and I've lived here my whole life, and I like to travel. So it fully deserves its own little video, and also this video would be running way too long, and so in the interest of time and the fact that it deserves its own separate video, I made the downtown area into a separate video. So you will enjoy it if you like small towns and courthouses. If you're into that sort of thing, you should enjoy it because it's exceptional. And I did do some of the restaurant, which will be at the end of this video. So this is the downtown area, and as I said, I'm just going to spin through it and then make a separate video of it. This is a Baptist church up here at the corner, a far end corner, not this one. The road is bricks, and it's really nice. And I'll be turning right to go back the other way, hitting the restaurant. Restaurant, parking lot, and a view of the building, although it's not a very good picture. It's pretty cute. Here's my food. I ordered the chalupa plate. I normally go for my favorites, so I'm trying to break out of that. My favorite's cheese enchiladas. And oops, it's not Los Lelos, it's Don Lelos. But it was really good food. Next coming up is the thrift store I stopped at. You can see on the sign the name of it. It is one of those places where the stuff's all jumbled up and it's just really fun to dig around in it. But it's a clean store, don't get me wrong. But they just, have a lot of stuff to go through, and it's really neat. This is the inside of it. All right, well, this concludes this video.